In Briar Hollow, names carried weight. Some were spoken with pride: Whitmore, Hayes, Callahan. Others were spoken only in low voices, as if saying them too loudly might summon trouble. Jesse Cole belonged to the second kind. They said he robbed trains and shot men without blinking. They said he rode with devils and laughed while towns burned behind him. Mothers pulled their children close when his name came up. Men swore they'd be the ones to put him in the ground if he ever showed his face again. So when Clara Whitmore saw him collapse near the livery at sundown, her first thought wasn't outlaw. It was he's going to die. The sky was heavy with color, burnt orange melting into purple, as she hurried home from the mercantile. Jesse fell hard, boots scraping dust, his horse staggering a few steps before stopping beside him. Blood soaked through his sleeve, dark and unmistakable. Clara froze. Then she lifted her skirts and ran. "Sir," she said, kneeling beside him. His face was pale beneath the dirt, jaw tight with pain. When he opened his eyes, they were sharp and wary, even half-conscious. "Don't," he rasped. "Get away." She swallowed. "You're bleeding." A weak laugh escaped him. "I noticed." She tore the hem of her petticoat without hesitation and pressed it to the wound. He flinched, breath hissing between his teeth. "You're gonna die if you stay here," she said, steady despite the way her heart hammered. "And I won't have that on my conscience." His gaze lingered on her face, like he couldn't quite place her. "Funny," he murmured. "Most folks would be glad. Most folks aren't me." Footsteps echoed from the street. Clara glanced toward town, panic rising. "Can you stand?" "Don't reckon I got much choice." She helped him onto his feet and led him, not toward her home, but toward her father's abandoned barn at the edge of town. No one went there anymore. Too many memories. Too much dust. Inside, lantern light revealed the truth. The bullet had torn clean through his upper arm, missing bone but leaving a mess behind. Clara cleaned it with shaking hands, jaw set, refusing to cry. "You got a name?" she asked. He hesitated. "Jesse." She nodded. "I'm Clara." He watched her like a man unused to kindness, as though it might vanish if he blinked. That night, Briar Hollow buzzed with rumors. A wounded outlaw had been spotted. The sheriff doubled patrols. Men loaded rifles and bragged about the reward money waiting for whoever turned Jesse Cole in. Clara sat in the barn long after dark, feeding Jesse stew by lantern light. "Why?" he asked finally. "Why help me?" She met his eyes. "Because evil men don't say, please, when the pain gets bad." Something in his expression cracked. Days passed. Jesse healed slowly. Clara came every night with food, water, and news. She told him who was searching, which roads were watched, how close the law was getting. In return, he told her pieces of his story, not excuses, just truth. How he'd been framed for a train robbery gone wrong. How running had turned him into what people already believed he was. How every choice after that felt like survival, not cruelty. "I ain't innocent," he admitted one night. "But I ain't what they say either." "I know," she said softly. The realization scared her. She'd lived her whole life doing what was expected, helping at church, minding the shop, caring for others while her own dreams gathered dust. Jesse Cole was danger, pure and simple. And yet, when he smiled, rare and crooked, she felt alive in a way she never had before. One evening, as thunder rolled in the distance, he reached for her hand. "Clara," he said, voice low. "You should stop coming." Her breath caught. "Why?" "Because if they catch me, they'll ask questions. And I won't see you hurt because of me." She squeezed his fingers. "You don't get to decide that." Rain hammered the roof as they kissed, soft at first, then desperate, like two people clinging to warmth in a cold world. For a moment, the outlaw and the townswoman disappeared. There was only a man and a woman who had found something they weren't ready to lose. The sheriff came at dawn. Clara saw the posse ride in from the hill, rifles gleaming. Her stomach dropped. Jesse stood, already pulling on his coat. "This is it. You can't run," she whispered. "I can draw them away." She grabbed his arm. "Then take me with you." He stared at her like she'd fired a gun. "I got nothing to offer but trouble." She stepped closer. "I'd rather have trouble with you than a life that never begins." They kissed again, hard, final. Then Jesse mounted his horse and rode straight into the open, firing a shot into the air. The posse took the bait, thundering after him. Clara watched until dust swallowed them all. Weeks passed. Then months. Life in Briar Hollow returned to its careful rhythm, but Clara felt hollow. She kept waiting for a rider who never came, a shadow on the horizon that stayed empty. Then one evening, as the sun bled gold across the land, a lone figure appeared on the ridge. He rode slowly, confidently. Clean-shaven. Standing tall. Jesse dismounted in front of the sheriff's office. Name's Jesse Cole, he said evenly. And I'm here to clear it. Witnesses came forward. Truth surfaced. Lies unraveled. The charges fell away like old scabs. That night, Jesse found Clara waiting by the barn. You still want an outlaw? He asked quietly. She smiled through tears. I always loved the man. The rest was just noise. And in a land shaped by dust and gunfire, their love endured, scarred, stubborn, and free.